Miranda, and today I'm here to review Conventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert. I had honestly not heard of this book till I saw it on the shelves at the bookstore, and I was like, I need this. I haven't read a lot of books that embrace the D&D nerd role-playing culture, and I absolutely love D&D. I am a huge fan of Critical Role, Dimension 20, so that definitely drew me in. And also I feel like I just haven't found as many good LGBT books like that since Red, White, and Royal Blue. So I was interested to read this one because it just looked so cute. So it is about, if you cannot guess, I should actually call it Conventionally Yours because it's about a Comic-Con. You feel me with that? Anyway, so the book is from both the points of view of Conrad and Albert, and there are so many tropes to love in this book. Enemies to lovers, road trip, only one bed. It gives and it gives, and I am happy to take it all in. So it's a dual point of view between Albert and Conrad. Like I said, they are enemies at the start of the book. They are part of this group online that plays a game called Odyssey, which is basically like a role-playing game. And they're part of the group, but they just don't get along at all. Conrad is more of an impulsive player. He doesn't like to plan ahead, but kind of figure out as he goes. Alden is definitely more following the rules, you know, having like the nicer decks and stuff, and just kind of more strict. So they don't get along at all because they're obviously very opposites. But what happens at the start of the book is that they get invited to a big convention for Odyssey, and they have to drive there on the road trip to get to the convention and be able to play for the grand prize, which is that you get like a lot of money and you get to join the Pro Tour for Odyssey, which is important to both of them because Conrad is struggling for money and really just he doesn't have anywhere to live. He's flying by the seat of his pants. He has no 50 jobs to work. So he's really betting his hopes on this big convention and winning. Alden, on the other hand, is kind of also floundering. He doesn't really know what he wants to do. His parents are pressuring him to try and figure out what he wants to do and really make a decision, and he's just kind of floundering, yeah, I don't know what to do. So he's also really looking forward to playing and winning. So they go on the road trip. Obviously things happen, and they end up being the only two that actually end up on the road trip through various accidents and things like that. And along the way they discover a lot more about each other than they initially thought and realize that there's more to just first impressions than you would think, and it is just so adorable. What I really liked too was there were little illustrations kind of scattered throughout. Let me see if I can find one, which was really cute. It wasn't a lot. I almost wish there were more illustrations, but the ones they did have were super freaking cute and just really added to the whole kind of story and everything like that. So for example, here's one of them on the road trip, and it was just a really cute addition that I've never seen in a book before like this. I also really like they've got the map of their road trip in the beginning. They've got this cute thing in the beginning that tells you all the tropes that are happening. So there's the enemies to lovers, the epic fandom, the road trip, the only one bed, everything like that. And it's just really cute. And I think I'm starting to realize that I really like books that have the dual point of view because I feel like it gives you a good grasp of what each character is feeling as opposed to only being in one character's head and kind of trying to figure out what the other love interest is figuring out from just what the one you're reading is, getting. Because I feel like especially with Alden and Conrad, you realize that there's a lot more than is at the surface, especially I think with, Conrad seems so carefree and worry-free, and that's who Alden kind of sees him as, is just this laid-back playboy that can't hold down a job, is kind of bouncing from one place to another, and we know that really he needs to work multiple jobs to actually be able to afford living, basically. And then Alden seems super strict and can't take a joke, anything like that, super serious. And from Alden's point of view, we get that he has a hard time with social cues. He doesn't really get joking, and it's hard for him, and sometimes he says things that come out strict and rude, but really he thinks he's being helpful. He just doesn't understand, and he needs someone who gets him, who can understand and who he can feel calmer around because he's very anxious. And I think that was just nice to see of your perspectives of people are not always right, you know? Like, there can be so much more going on, and Alden and Conrad really never took the time before to get past their preconceived notions about each other, and it wasn't until they were literally forced in this road trip in a confined car together that they realized there's way more to each of them and more depth than they initially realized. And what I really liked is their relationship was just so consensual and trusting, and like the communication was on point. Like, you know, they knew when the other one was kind of hiding something or didn't want to say something, and would not force the issue, but be like, you know, like, I know there's something that you need to talk about, or like, you know, not dismissing each other's feelings. Like, one thing is Conrad has a lot of issues with his family, and he's kind of just been so in it that he takes all that on, like, oh, it's my fault. And Alden's the one that's like, no, like, it's not your fault, like, you're the kid, like, this is on your parents. And that starts to help Conrad come out more and realize more of his feelings, where he actually feels towards his family, and that he shouldn't blame himself for it. And Alden also, you know, has a lot of feelings with his moms and how they're pressuring him, and how, you know, they think this is the right path for him, but Conrad's like, well, what do you think is the right path for you? Like, why do you think this is, like, not a good thing? Or like, what's wrong with, like, being whatever you want to be, you know? And I just think that was really nice. There's also no third act breakup. There's a third act fight, but I loved that there wasn't a third act breakup, because I feel like that's so common in romance books, that to not have that was really, really great, especially after all they had been through in the week that they were on the road trip. Like, it would have felt like a big regression if they just started hurling insults at each other and broke up. And I mean, I guess, like, you could say there's no third act breakup. Like, you can't. Like, maybe one of them thought like they were broken up, but like they were totally, there was never like a I can't do this anymore kind of thing. Like, it was just like one freak out. And I really liked that, because I think it showed how much, like, the relationship itself, but also the road trip had made them better. And I think, you know, that was kind of a reoccurring theme, was that, like, they helped each other, but at the end of the day, like, they helped each other see who they really are and what they really wanted. And that was, like, a repeated thing that, like, they made sure to say, was like, I did this and I realized this because of Alden's help, or because of Conrad's help. But it also is something that was there all along, that I just needed someone to point out and be like, you know what you want to do. Like, believe in yourself, and don't, you know, just listen to everyone else, all the noise and stuff like that. And I think that was a really nice theme, because I feel like sometimes you can get bogged down in, like, a relationship saves you, a relationship changes you. And yeah, that's true to a point, but it can't change. Like, if it's why you're changing, that's not right, you know? So I like that it was like, this is what they were feeling, this is what they kind of wanted all along. They just needed someone who came along and was willing to listen and to put in the time to really hear what they wanted, instead of just giving their 2 cents of what they thought they wanted. So I think that was really cute and really sweet, and I'm really, really excited for the next book, actually, because there is a character in this named Jasper who pops up in the beginning, and he is getting his own book this year, which I'm super excited to check out, because that also sounds like an enemies to lovers book, and if it's as good as this one, I'm just so excited for it. I highly recommend it. The funny thing is, this is by a publisher who also has some more listed in the back, and I have not checked out many of their other ones, but I have checked out Boyfriend Material, which is the one they list as, like, the next one actually that came out, because I think this came out in June and then Boyfriend Material came out in July. I hated Boyfriend Material, okay? I know people love it, but my friend read it as well and was like, this is not good. I think this is a better version of Boyfriend Material, because it's got that same kind of enemies to lovers. It doesn't have the fake dating that I know they have, but I just feel like Boyfriend Material, why I didn't like them was the love interest was just such an asshole, like, so rude. And I feel like this is a version of that, and that, like, Alden is kind of an asshole, you know, when, like, you don't get to know him. Like, again, he seems abrupt, like, but that's just him not getting social cues. And I feel like through his point of view, you get to see that, like, he's not actually, he just doesn't know what to say sometimes. He doesn't know when people are joking. Like, it's hard for him. So I feel like this is why I felt like this is a better version of Boyfriend Material, because I actually liked both of them, and I was rooting for them to get together at the end. Me and my friend were both like, they should not have ended up together in Boyfriend Material. Like, they are terrible for each other. So yeah, I definitely really loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and if you have read it or are interested in reading it, highly recommend you check it out. I think it's good for, like, if you loved Red, White, and royal blue. I think this is a really good one because it's got that dual point of view. It's got that enemies to lovers. Like, it's got a lot of elements of it. And then like if you also love D&D and role playing and stuff like that, it's really cute to get into that and see them nerd out about stuff like that. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!